Toeside jumps can be more inconsistent than heelside jumps because of the twisted position required to approach the wake. If you don't get twisted enough and hold the twist all the way through the top of the wake, your pop will suffer. In this video, I'm going to show you a quick 4-step drill that can instantly fix this problem and give you a much cleaner release on your toeside jumps. Let's get started with step 1. Step 1 is a simple one-handed backside slide outside the wake on the side of the wake where you would normally edge out toeside. Move out of the wake and outside of the trough before starting the slide. Take your backhand off the handle and break traction by forcing yourself into the backside slide and hold it. Now here's the important part. While sliding, angle the board so you move outward away from the wake smoothly. At the same time you are sliding outward, try to roll your knees forward while also keeping your body as straight as possible from your knees through to your shoulders. You should have no or little bend at your waist if your hips are forward and out in front of you. Also, be sure that your fins are free of grip and you are sliding outward and not just tracking normally like you would normally edge outward away from the wakes. This sliding outward, over-twisted, tractionless feeling is the key ingredient to fixing your pop. Repeat this 3 times, each time starting back near the wake and sliding outward with just one hand on the handle. Okay, step 2 is almost the same thing, except this time you will want to work towards putting your free hand back on the handle so you can slide outward two-handed. But to ensure that you get in the proper position, first I want you to start the slide one-handed just like you did in step 1. And then as you are sliding out one-handed, replace your other hand back on the handle to complete the slide out two-handed. This is much more difficult than the one-handed version, and it is a good test to see if you can get into the proper position to do a toeside wake jump pop. If you cannot do this step easily, you have found the source of your toeside pop problems. During this step, I want to ensure that you keep your upper body position in proper position, with your hips out in front of you and your knees rolled forward. So when you put your free hand back on the handle, make sure you reach over your pec or chest muscle to grab the handle. This specific reaching movement keeps your hips forward and doesn't let you bend over at the waist like you would if you reached under your pec or chest muscle as seen here. If you reach under, you will break and bend at the waist, and your position will collapse, making it very hard to hold the slide. This also forms bad habits for your toeside edging position and will hinder your pop at the wake at the same time. Start the slide one-handed, roll your knees forward, push your hips out towards the shoreline, and then reach over your chest muscle to re-grab the handle to continue the backside slide, sliding outward away from the wakes. Repeat this 2 or 3 times to get comfortable and balanced before moving on to step 3. For step 3, move to the takeoff side of the wake to practice the slide position on the face of the wake. Move into the trough near the bottom of the takeoff wake and release your back hand. While riding against the bottom of the face of the wake, turn the board up the face of the wake into a one-handed backside slide. Be sure to lean away from the boat so you don't catch your edge, and try to avoid sliding up and over the peak of the wake to the center. As you slide against the face of the wake, you are trying to find the sweet spot where you have the board turned between 45 and 60 degrees backside, which will allow you to slide against the face of the wake indefinitely. With one hand, try to get into the same knees rolled, hips pushed forward position that you did in steps 1 and 2. Sitting in this slide against the face and holding it for as long as you can helps you not only realize the proper edging and popping position, it also engraves the position into your muscle memory at the same time. Repeat this a few times before moving on to the final step of the drill. For our last step, number 4, move again to the trough of the wake outside the takeoff side just like you did in the previous step. Drop your back hand and start this step the same way you did in step 3 by turning into a one-handed backside slide on the face of the wake. Once you have the one-handed slide held with your knees rolled and your hips pushed forward, reach over your chest muscle like you did previously to get your free hand back on the handle to continue the slide on the face two-handed. As you reach, make sure to keep your chest up, hips forward, and avoid bending or breaking at the waist. Once you get 2 hands on the handle, try to exaggerate the knees rolled forward position and sit there for as long as you can to get comfortable. This is the proper position for edging through the wakes during toeside jumps. Okay, now that you have repeated each step a few times, return to your toeside jumps to see if your pop has increased and improved. You should feel a much cleaner release as you push off the wake. Repeat this 4-step sequence before every wake jump attempt. You should find, over a course of a few sets, that your toeside jumps become much easier and even more consistent.